Imagine a small child sitting alone in a quiet room. He looks around, hoping someone will notice him, hoping someone will ask if he is okay. But no one does. Every time he tries to express his feelings, he hears the same words. Stop crying. You're too sensitive. Be strong. Slowly, he learns something painful. His feelings don't matter. So he stops speaking. He stops sharing. And eventually, he grows up believing that being silent is the only way to survive. Now, imagine something surprising. That child never disappeared. That child is still inside you. Many people believe childhood is just a memory that fades away with time, but the truth is very different. Your childhood continues to shape the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you see yourself. That quiet voice inside you that sometimes whispers, "You're not good enough," that sudden fear of rejection, that deep sadness you can't explain, often comes from the part of you that was once a child trying to be loved. This is what psychologists call the inner child. Your inner child is the emotional part of you that still carries the memories, fears, and hopes from your early years. And if that child experienced pain, neglect, or constant criticism, those wounds don't simply disappear when you become an adult. They stay hidden inside you, quietly influencing your life. Many adults walk through life feeling empty, anxious, or constantly seeking approval without realizing why. They think something is wrong with them, but the truth is often much simpler. Deep inside, their inner child is still hurting. Maybe as a child you were ignored when you needed attention. Maybe you were criticized so often that you started believing you were never good enough. Maybe you had to grow up too fast and carry responsibilities no child should carry. Over time, you learn to hide your feelings, to stay quiet, to protect yourself. Those coping mechanisms helped you survive back then, but as an adult, they can make life feel heavy and confusing. Healing your inner child begins with something very simple: awareness. The moment you start asking yourself gentle questions about your emotions, you begin opening a door that has been closed for years. Why do certain situations trigger strong reactions in you? Why does rejection hurt more deeply than it seems to hurt others? Why do you sometimes feel an intense need for validation or approval? Often the answers lie somewhere in your childhood experiences. When you begin to see this connection, something powerful happens. You stop blaming yourself. Instead of saying, "Something is wrong with me," you start realizing something happened to me. This shift in perspective is the first step toward healing. The second step is self-compassion. Many people who carry childhood wounds become extremely harsh with themselves. They criticize their own emotions and judge their own weaknesses. But imagine for a moment that you could meet your younger self, the child you once were. Imagine that child standing in front of you, looking scared, confused, and misunderstood. Would you criticize that child? Would you tell them they are weak or too emotional? Of course not. You would probably kneel down, look into their eyes, and say something kind. You might say, "It's okay to feel this way." You might say, "You didn't deserve what happened." You might say, "You were just a child." These words may seem simple, but for many people, they are words their inner child never heard. When you start speaking to yourself with kindness instead of judgment, you begin to repair something deep inside. The next step in healing your inner child is reconnecting with joy. Children naturally know how to experience life fully. They laugh easily, they imagine freely, and they find happiness in small things. But when a child grows up in an environment where emotions are suppressed or criticized, that natural joy slowly fades. As adults, we become serious, cautious, and disconnected from the simple pleasures that once made us feel alive. Healing your inner child means allowing yourself to rediscover those moments again. It could be something very small, listening to music that once made you happy, drawing, writing, or doing something creative without worrying about perfection. Taking a walk outside and noticing the sky, the trees, the quiet beauty around you. These moments may seem insignificant, but they send a powerful message to the child inside you. It is safe to feel happiness again. Another important part of healing is learning to set boundaries. Many people who were emotionally hurt as children struggle to say no to others. They try to please everyone around them because deep inside, they are still searching for approval. They hope that if they are good enough, helpful enough, or kind enough, they will finally receive the love they once needed. But real healing happens when you realize something important. Your worth does not depend on pleasing everyone else. You deserve respect, you deserve emotional safety, and it is completely okay to protect your energy by setting healthy boundaries. When you say no to something that harms your peace, you are actually doing something very powerful. You are showing your inner child that someone is finally protecting them, and that someone is you. Healing your inner child doesn't mean forgetting the past or pretending that painful memories never happened. Instead, it means acknowledging those experiences with compassion and understanding. It means recognizing that the child you once were did the best they could in the circumstances they faced. It also means allowing yourself to grow beyond those old wounds without letting them define your future. The journey of healing is not always easy. Some days you may feel strong and hopeful, while other days old memories may return and bring sadness or frustration. But every moment you spend understanding yourself, every moment you choose kindness toward your own emotions, you are taking a step forward. Slowly, gently, the child inside you begins to feel something they may have never felt before: safety. And when your inner child begins to feel safe, something beautiful happens. The fears that once controlled your decisions begin to lose their power. The voice that once told you that you were not enough slowly fades away. In its place grows a new voice, a kinder voice, one that reminds you that your story is still unfolding. Your past may be part of who you are, but it does not have to control who you become. One day, you may look back at your journey and realize that the child inside you was never broken. They were simply waiting for someone to understand them, someone to listen, someone to care, and that someone turned out to be you.